Let's look at how to change some settings on a NIC to go from being dynamically assigned from being statically assigned. So first we're going to click on the start menu. We're going to type CMD to bring us the command prompt. Hit enter. I'm going to go ahead and make it a little bit bigger. I'm going to type in the command ipconfig /all and press enter. This is going to give me a list of all the interfaces on the computer that are used for connection purposes and all of the addresses that go with those. So what's really important in this particular instance, I'm on a laptop, so it is a wireless connection. So I can see right here that DHCP is enabled. DHCP is the higher power that gives a computer an IP address when it gets onto the network. So I can see that DHCP is enabled. The other important part here is the IPv4 address. So my address right now is 10.10.25.71. The subnet mask is 255.255.0.0. I can also see the address of the DHCP server, the server that gave me the address to begin with, as well as the default gateway, which is 10.10.1.1. So all of this information was given to me by the DHCP server that covers the whole campus and gives everyone on the campus that tries to access the campus network an IP address. So what I want to do is give myself a different IP address. So the way that I would do that is I would go to the network connections down here, right click and go to open and network and sharing center, which will give me this window here. If I want to change my IP address to something static, I'm going to go to change adapter settings right here. Right now I don't have a wired connection, so this looks like it's not plugged in, which is correct. I'm on a wireless network, so I'm going to right click, go to properties. I get a list of, here's all the different things this connection uses. I care about the IPv4 address, so I'm going to click on that, click properties. So right here you can see that because everything was handed down to me through this DHCP server, this is set to obtain an IP address and obtain a DNS server address automatically. So I want to change those a little bit. So looking back at the top, I'm going to change my address up. Right now I'm using 10.10.25.71. I'm going to change it to 10.10.25.72. The subnet mask is going to be the same, 255.255.0.0. You see it automatically populated to 255.0.0.0 in a video further down the line. We'll talk about why that happened. The default gateway I'm going to keep the same. The default gateway is the router that gets me outside of my local network. So if I don't have that number correct, I wouldn't be able to get on the internet, and that would cause some trouble. So the DNS server here was already set. Actually, there's several of them in the line. If you look back at the IP config, you can see we've got some IPv6 addresses that are really long. We've got some IPv4s. We've got this one right here that's a little different from all the others. And we've got another. So we've actually got a few DNS servers on campus. I'm going to use as my preferred DNS server 10.10.1.18. As my alternate DNS server, I'm going to use 8.8.8.8. That number looks a little different than the previous ones, but that's because it's the server for the DNS server for Google. So it makes for a good alternate server. If the server that's in-house dies, hopefully the Google server can then kick in as the alternate. When I get all my settings put in, I want to say OK. If I close that window, I should be now having different IP information. So I'm going to go ahead and issue this command again, ipconfig /all. And if you look, well, my DNS server's definitely changed to the order of preference that I put them in. You can see now DHCP is not enabled, which means I did my own configuration. I wasn't given a configuration. And you can see the IPv4 address has changed to the .72. That is how to create a static setting in a NIC for your IP address, your subnet mask, your default gateway, and your preferred and alternate DNS servers.